change your angle. It's research and it's data and it's showing you how to network and learn things and promote your business to talk about it in a different way. But it's also giving you exposure. And that is the biggest asset that you could have for your business.
Hi, everyone. Today on Queen Me, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood parts of modern leadership, and that is visibility. Now, I'm joined by somebody who has spent nearly 30 years helping ambitious women go from overlooked to undeniable. KJ Blattenbauer is a powerhouse publicist, brand strategist, and the founder of Hearsay PR, known for turning bold ideas into headlines and helping creative leaders finally own the spotlight that they deserve. Now, her clients have really been featured everywhere, and her own work has been featured in top outlets across business, lifestyle, design, and entrepreneurship. Now, KJ is the author of How to Be a Media Darling and the forthcoming Pitchworthy, which comes out very, very soon, and we'll get into all of that. And that is a modern, no fluff guide to building lasting visibility and authority. So today's conversation is really going to help you think about PR, confidence, storytelling, and the courage it takes to be seen. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
joining
having me.
us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to dive in because PR is so important and I think it is sometimes very, very misunderstood. I want to start very in very simple terms. So for those that don't know, can you just tell us like what even in the world is PR? Because I think people get it wrong all of the time. So what is PR?
Right. And I think it's by design. I think public relations as an industry has a public relations problem. It does itself a disservice by making itself complicated. And I think it is almost on purpose so that people don't know how to do it for themselves. So then they can pay exorbitant monthly retainers to have someone do it for them. But at the simplest root, public relations is teaching people how to think and talk about your brand when you're not in the room. And then it's leveraging other people's outlets that are reputable, like podcasts, like newspapers, like the local news, TV, radio, using those vetted sources to build your credibility. And that's what
Mhm,
public relations is. It's teaching people
mhm,
how to think and talk about your brand and then using other people's reputable vehicles to share your message.
mhm, mhm. So many people I think it's luck or you've reached a certain amount of notoriety and it's fame. That's what
Yeah.
I often hear people complain about or say when they're thinking about PR. But you really dismantle that and say, no, this is what PR actually is.
Right. And I think that's the biggest mistake that founders, entrepreneurs, anyone that has a business makes. They think they have to be famous before they need PR, or they think they have to make 6 or 7 figures before they even think about promoting their business. When the truth of the matter is, public relations should be top of funnel for your business. No one can fund your startup. No one can come into your store. No one can buy or shop your services or products if they don't know who you are. So the people who benefit the most from public relations are really those side hustlers, the $0, the startups to the 6 or 7 figure earners. You're the ones that need to be out there pitching, promoting yourself, telling your story. You are the ones that need the attention more than anyone who's famous. And it's not about being famous for the sake of being famous. You don't put yourself out there to put yourself out there, right? Not asking anyone to be a reality TV star. All we're asking you to do is to talk passionately and educationally about why you built your service, why you started your business, what your product can do to change people's lives. So you're really just telling people, hey, I invested all my blood, sweat, tears, and probably all my finances into X, Y, or Z. Here's why it matters to you right now. That's public relations.
Oh, I love that. I love that because you often say that, you transform these overlooked experts into headline news. And I think there are so many overlooked experts. Like I see articles that are out there and I'm like, it would have been great if they interviewed this one woman I know that is amazing and can talk about all of these things, right? But they don't. So
Mhm.
let's dive into that a little bit. When we say like overlooked, can you dive into that? What does that mean? And how can a leader actually become recognized when they are being overlooked?
Right. Well, I mean, You know how they say if you don't ask, you'll never know. Well, if you don't speak up, no one will ever know about you. So that's kind of what being overlooked is, right? You just said it yourself. There are a million articles every single day about a certain subject, whatever that subject may be. Maybe it's about hiring. If you're an expert in hiring and you aren't inserting yourself in your local conversations about that, in national conversations about that, in online discussions about that, you're not getting your expertise out there. You're not sharing your gift with the world. You're contributing to the fact that you're being overlooked. And so you can't be frustrated when someone else gets elevated speaking about your area of expertise if you haven't thrown your hat in the ring, if you haven't put your expertise out there on display. And so I think there's various levels to being overlooked. Look, there are a million publicists out there. Not that many are writing books. If they are writing books, they're probably not going on book tours. They're probably not speaking on podcasts like this. I care so much about my message that I go out of my way to find resources like this one that you so generously let me speak on to share my message because I want people to know what PR is. I want them to know how it can be applied. Now, 2 or 3 years ago, me was behind the scenes doing all the work, thinking the work was going to speak for itself, which, spoiler alert, the work doesn't speak for itself. So 2 years ago, I was probably overlooked. Now, I'm sorry, world, you probably can't go very far without hearing my name. And once the book's out, maybe I'll go back to hiding behind the scenes. But I was done being overlooked, like my work is amazing. I've had a 14-year agency built solely on referrals. But if I don't put myself out there, I can't help more people, which is the whole point of why I'm in business. I also think that location can play a role in you being overlooked, right? Like if you're an interior designer, if you're in fashion, if you're in art, people think you have to be on the East Coast or the West Coast to get any attention because that's where huge media hubs are. There are some of the greatest restaurants, artists, designers, talented businesses in flyover states. And if they don't speak up, no one on the coast or in the media hubs is going to know that they exist. And so there are various levels to being overlooked, but the first step to stop being overlooked and to start being iconic, to become a household name, to get your business pumping and moving and meet your goals is to let people know you exist. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's why we matter to you right now, target audience. And it's that simple.
I love that. Now, I feel like so many people do hold themselves back from pitching themselves. I don't know if it's because it feels weird pitching themselves or if it's, when they want to hire a firm, sometimes it's the cost issue. What have you seen why people hold themselves back with this?
I think it's twofold. I think one thing is that it's vulnerable. You've built something, you've created something, it's your baby. It's almost like it's art, and you're putting it out there for other people to judge it. And the second you put yourself out there, put it online, let the keyboard warriors have at it, they will have what they will. And so there's a little bit of vulnerability out there. And as human beings, we're not good about that. I think there's also a part of it, especially if you're a female founder, you were taught to be seen and not heard. You were taught if you celebrated your gift or you talked passionately about something you care about, it was being boastful, it was being braggy. Like, no one needs to know you won that award. No one needs to know how good you are. Like, don't make the person dim your light so the person next to you doesn't feel bad. And I think that's all honestly BS because if we don't know what you're doing, we can't celebrate you. If we don't know what you're doing, we can't take advantage of it if it's going to improve our life. But I also think that there's a huge part of the whole mess where people think if they just post once or twice on social media, they'll go viral and it'll change their life. And that is not what's happening in 2026 and beyond. If you went viral, you can post all day long on social media. You can hire a social media manager, you can do whatever. Meta's going to change the rules on you 5 times in one day. So, if you can crack that code, good for you. But even if you went viral today, you might gain a couple hundred followers, maybe 1,000, but they're there for the spectacle. They're not there to buy from you. They're not there to learn from you. They're there to see what everyone's talking about, to join the discourse. They're going to get bored. They're going to go away. You will have made $0 from going viral. But if you put yourself out there as an authority and an expert in your industry, if you start appearing in the media and build that visibility, that authority is going to last and compound over time. It's going to drive sales. It's going to drive revenue. It's going to keep your social media numbers up and then some. You're going to reach your goals faster by using the free PR channels than you ever will posting on social media.
Mm. That is so true. And I think when we first connected, I might have told you this story, but when I first started in the nonprofit space in Pittsburgh, so many people were saying to me, you need to post, do all of those things, great website, posting all that. I think that's true. But what I did was I truly just did cold emails to local press and said, "Hey, I'm here. We're doing chess in these communities, X, Y, and Z." And that really helped me, I think, with the confidence. But I think it goes along with what you talk about, where like women need to act like the big deal that they already are.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about that, what that means? What does that look like in practice?
Well, I think there's a reason why you have a business. There's a reason why you start a nonprofit. There's a reason why you offer a service or open your doors for any reason. Only you know what that reason is, but that's your story. And you did it because you saw a space missing in a marketplace or a loved one that you know needed something. And it's up to you to share that gift with the world. You created something, you've built something. Like you are a big deal. That is so cool. How many people can say that they do that? So many people just go to a 9 to 5, they clock out at, they go in at 9, they take their lunch break, they clock out at 5. They just don't care. Like it's just repetitive day after day after day. Building something, anything, side hustle, whole business, it takes a different kind of beast. It takes so much self-reflection. It's like a mirror to every insecurity you have. It is stressful. It will test relationships on every single level. It will test your health, mental and otherwise. You're a big deal if you can create any single thing, whether it's 1 year, 50 years, all of those things. You did it because you believed in yourself, and you just need to take that belief a little bit further and promote it to the world. So the outreach, I think that holds so many people back. They've already done so many things to get to a certain point that when you have to start promoting yourself, the idea of one more rejection, of someone not responding to your pitch, of not getting it right, like it's your only chance and you might blow something, it's almost too much for people. When the truth of the matter is, you're going to face rejection. You do every day in business. Customers are going to come into your store. They're not going to want it. They're going to go to your website and not buy and not purchase. Those things do not change the course of your business. But putting yourself out there, you're going to miss, what is it that Gretzky says? You miss all the shots you don't take. Maybe it was Michael Jordan. I'm going to get all of sports analogies wrong. But like what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. What's the worst thing someone's going to say to you? You're going to pitch yourself and not hear back. Then you follow up. You don't hear back again. Guess what you do? You'll follow up a third time. You don't hear that third time. Change your angle. It's research and it's data and it's showing you how to network and learn things and promote your business to talk about it in a different way. But it's also giving you exposure. And that is the biggest asset that you could have for your business, especially in the dawning of AI when people are craving a return to supporting local, a return to human aspects and to the story of things. People want to hear your story. We're craving human stories and connections. Share what you're doing with the world.
Mhm. Do you ever have people that maybe reach out to you or maybe that they were referred to you in a conversation with them and they just don't feel internally ready to be on TV, to be interviewed by a journalist? Like, do you have signs that somebody's ready for visibility? Do you walk through them like, hey, you can do this, all of the things? Or what does it look like when you're talking with a client that maybe is like not quite, doesn't feel quite ready to take that jump into publicity?
I don't think anyone's ready to take the jump into publicity unless they want to be famous, famous. Like there are people who just want to be famous. There are people who just want to be on reality TV. They are always ready to go. Those are not clients that I serve. There are other outlets for them. Those are not, my skill set does not align with that. And so I would send them to a peer to work with. Um, Everyone else that I work with, never ready, never want publicity because it's not about them. It's about they're passionate about something or they want to do something. They don't want to be front and center. They don't want to be famous to be famous, but they're okay with putting themselves out there to help use their authority and their credibility to further the mission or their art or whatever they want to do. For me, it's a mindset shift. It's not about putting yourself out there per se. It's I have a gift. I have to share it with the world. And if I don't share it with the world, I'm doing a disservice to what was the whole point? Like if I started this hospice program because my grandma needed it and I saw something missing, why wouldn't I want to help other people and their grandmas in the legacy of mine? Those sorts of things. Do I see people all the time who aren't ready for PR? Yes, there are certain people I cannot help. If your systems in your house are not in order, you're not ready for attention to come to you. You have to have the website built. You have to know messaging. And that's why so many of my clients start with the messaging, because I'm not going to put a million media spotlights on you if you don't know how to talk about your business, if you're not ready to handle the influx of traffic, if your product is faulty, like if you don't have the right rules and regulations being followed to sell jam, then I can't promote you. There are certain people that, like I'm get this in order, then we're ready to go. I have clients who never want to be on camera, never want to be recorded, will never go on a podcast. They're still famous. We work around it all the time. You know what? I can do a million media interviews over email. I can help you answer any questions. I can get your work featured in international magazines. People won't even have to know what your face is. It's just depending on what your true goal is, what your industry is, and what the media's tolerance is for that industry.
Mm, that's so helpful to think about. I mean, there are so many ways to get out there, right? If somebody doesn't like doing a podcast, writing an interview in that way, right? That's so helpful to think about. What's been helpful for me, I think, when I've been talking with you and hearing your perspective is really what the media is looking for. Because you've placed so many stories across media outlets. But from the perspective of an editor or a producer, how do you make a pitch stand out? Because people are using AI, they're using all these things, right? So if I'm sending a pitch to an editor, what do I need to do to make it compelling?
Well, I think it has to not be about you. It can't be an ad. And I think that's what so many people get wrong. They send marketing to an editor or a journalist, and that's the complete opposite of what they want. An editor is stressed for time. Journalists are very, like, every newsroom's been cut in half. They're getting thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pitches every single day. Their inboxes are overloaded. So to stand out, you need to do three things: brief and be very clear about who you are, be very clear about who you serve and what you do, and then be very clear about why does it matter to this news outlet and their target audience right this second. And if you can do those three things in two or three sentences, like don't write them paragraphs, keep it very brief. Hey, here's how I am. Here's what we can do. Here's how it helps your audience. Let's connect. I can be ready to go right now. And your contact information, that's how you're going to stand out. Like right now, we're talking in January. And January is all about new year, new me, health, fitness, getting your house in order, meeting your goals, doing whatever. You know what else January is? It is a reckoning for relationships. So ahead of Valentine's Day, where everyone's loved up and cuddly, January is the highest month for divorce lawyers and therapists, especially couples therapists, because on January 2nd, that's when most divorce lawyers, that's like the highest number of phone calls divorce lawyers ever get or inquiries is January 2nd. And the top day for filing for divorce all year long, like by double, triple, quadruple digits, is January 6th because everyone's coming off the holidays or they're ready to start their resolutions or they finally want to be happy or they need to be free, whatever the reason is. It is the great uncoupling starts in January. So like if I would use a fact like that, the new year doesn't always bring about cheer for certain people. I'm a divorce lawyer and I see huge influx of calls starting on January 6th. It's divorce day. Would love to talk to you about this trend and how couples can get around it, that sort of thing. You could do it if you're a marriage counselor, all sorts of those things. It's finding a point in time that matters, that's newsworthy, that's a news hook, that's kind of interesting. People like, huh, hadn't thought of that, and applying it to your business. And then in two or three sentences, sending it off to a reporter. It truly is that simple. And they might be like, not now. Or they might be like, not that angle. Or they'll be like, oh, I don't cover this, but my peer does. Either way, that's data you can use for your next pitch or to move things around or to learn something or to build up your database. And I think it doesn't hurt to try.
Mm. I've made that mistake, I feel. And even when people reach out to me to get somewhere, be highlighted, etc., the paragraphs in the emails, it's
So
like
long.
it's so long. It's so
It's
long.
like
Yes.
that meme, like, thanks, really happy for you. Not gonna read all that.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Like I have received certainly not per day, but these, right? And as I've been, reaching out more and connecting with people I find say briefly, like exactly what you said. Here's what I do, here's who I am, etc. That's so helpful. Um, you know, when you think about stories that go viral, are they the ones that are very much the simple ones of like, you know, what they are that month? You know, you were talking about January and then February being love, right? What do you see stories that go viral and resonate? What do they have in common?
Well, I think it's simple. It tugs at your heartstrings, or it's funny and lighthearted. Like there's a human aspect to it of like, it doesn't have to be that deep. Like the viral videos are soldier comes home from war, kids finds a puppy, this delivery driver went above and beyond for that. Like there's a human at the center of it, and it's an emotion that we can all resonate with, but it ties into what's going on. Like, oh, a soldier coming home any time of year, amazing. A soldier coming home after not seeing his family for 6 years around the holidays. Thanks, I wanted to cry today anyway. Those are the sorts of things that really make a difference for people. And I think in the dawning of AI, yes, you can use AI to write things. I wish that you wouldn't, because it's a lot of M dashes and it sounds like a robot. You can use AI for what it's worth, which is deep research and helping you like find media contacts, that sort of thing. AI is not meant for writing because it's built by a robot. And writing that matters, stories that matter, come from the heart. There's a human aspect to them. And because AI is an algorithm, it's not going to ever have that human aspect.
If I don't have a PR team and I'm maybe struggling with getting visibility, what are some steps that I can take today to fix that, right? Or to, small steps. What would that look like for me?
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to work on your messaging. Most important thing, who you are, who you serve, how you can help them, what's the difference, the change that they're going to see. Like work on your one sentence, work on your bio, make that so it's airtight. So anyone you run that against knows exactly, very clearly, here's who you are, who you serve, what you do, how they can work with you. Once that's tied in, get your house in order everywhere else. Make sure it's on your website, your social media, anywhere that I would Google you, third-party sites, anywhere where I would Google and your name would come up. It needs to say the same thing. It needs to have the same imagery. So, like your headshot should be the same so people recognize you. So, all those touches, all the interactions they might see, same thing there all the time. Because the worst thing is someone Googles you and it says one thing here and something else there. And they're like, well, she does this or does she do that? Or like that immediately will erode any trust you've ever built. So, get your house in order with your messaging and then make sure that it's across all channels, consistent and the same. Once you get those two things in order, you're going to write down the 10 or 12 questions people ask you all the time about your product, your service, or your business, because those are going to be your pitches. That's going to be your content calendar. That's what you're going to do. Those are the questions people want answers to. Don't recreate the wheel and try and think of the next greatest question or go down the AI rabbit hole about what you should write about. Answer the questions people are asking you. Turn those into really quick pitches. See how you can tie those into points in time with news outlets. And then once you have those established, you're going to put what you do. Like I'd put public relations. I'd Google public relations. And then in Google, when it pulls up, where it says all images, shopping, there's a news tab. I'd click the news tab. That's going to show me every outlet that's covering anything newsworthy about public relations. I'd start building my media list from that. I'd list out the outlet. I'd click and see who the reporter is. I'd find their contact information. I'd start sending out pitches. And you don't have to send out 5,000. Send five. Send 25. If you sent out 25 pitches in a month, honestly, I'd be so amazed. I'd probably mail you a present because that's a lot of work for someone to do, right? So you don't have to have this huge list. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You have to know your messaging and what you stand for so other people get it right away. Clearly, this is what I do. This is who I serve. Here's how I can help you. Here's how you can work with me. Get your house in order, work on your pitches, then put yourself out there. Those are 4 steps.
That will be helpful to so many people. And I love how you broke that down, right? Making sure the messaging is consistent, even just a few outreaches, so helpful. There's a lot of PR firms that I found out there that charge thousands upon thousands of dollars for this. And we had this conversation a bit when we first connected. How much money do you need to invest in PR?
Literally nothing. PR is free. You shouldn't pay to be on media outlets. You shouldn't pay to be featured anywhere. Public relations is third-party endorsement for free of what you do and why you're good at it. Now you might have to pay a publicist if you don't have time to do it yourself. And yes, it can cost thousands of dollars a month to have someone full-time pushing public relations for you. If you do not have that funding, you can do it yourself. I have a book that teaches the basic tenets of it. It will literally be 99 cents the first day that the book comes out. The simple 4 steps we just went through should cost you nothing to do that, nothing but your time. And you can literally be doing that while you're watching reality TV, sitting on your couch, eating all the snacks. So it
Mhm.
shouldn't take hours a day. It should be something that you do. Just like you can find time to doom scroll on social media, you can find time to do your own public relations. You can set up time for 1 hour to pick a publicist's brain. You can have someone do your stuff full time. You can work with someone one time and just do a messaging session and then take what they give you and run with it. It's like anything else. When you have your own business, how much time do you truly have to dedicate to this? How much does your business truly need it? And let's be real, your business needs attention. So put some focus, whether it's you doing it or some budget for someone else to do it, on public relations for your business to drive visibility. Because once you start getting visibility, it's going to snowball. One thing will lead to another, which will lead to traffic, which will lead to sales. You won't be paying a publicist for forever. The media machine will take on a life of its own for you.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Let's talk about your books though, because you have a new one coming out. Tell us all about it.
My new book is called Pitchworthy. It comes out January 13th, and it is 20 chapters of everything you've ever wanted to know about public relations, but really how to apply it easily and for free to your business. It covers what PR is, how you find your brand words, how you find what to pitch, when to pitch it, what sample pitches should look like. And then, heaven forbid, you have some sort of negative or crisis situation. It teaches you how to handle that and has chapters with free tools that you can use immediately to make a difference for your business, connect with reporters, all of that.
And what was your first book? Because you've written two. So your
Yep,
first
yep.
one, How to Be a Media Darling. Tell us about that.
How to be a media darling was really a challenge to myself to take everything that was in my head. Here's what I want people to know about public relations and put it in a nutshell. So, in 3 days, I wrote a book about everything you need to know about public relations. And so it walks you through the basics. It teaches you, hey, here's how you should look at it this way, here's how you should look at it that way. But my new book, Pitchworthy, will really teach you all of that and more with exercises and free tools.
Mm.
And they're both
We,
available on Amazon.
we can't wait. And we'll, of course, include all of the links and make sure people can get their hands on it because that will be so important for them as their entrepreneur's journey. I think the PR and insight that they deserve. One question I love to ask publicists is about how PR has really changed because you've been in this for 30 years. You've
Mhm.
seen so many things shift in the landscape. Tell us about how it shifted and maybe tell us about what we can expect to see in 2026.
So I am a dinosaur in this industry. No one really sticks around in public relations this long. And so I feel like I've seen everything. But I can tell you that PR the basic tenets of public relations have not changed since it was invented to promote the circus a long, long, long time ago. I think with the invention of the internet, it made searching easier, finding people, there's more outlets. Yes, I think social media for a while took over and made PR take kind of a backseat as people tried to go viral, tried to post, could be their own journalist, could do more. But what we're seeing now in 2026 and beyond is a return to what's traditional. People want long form. They want more human contact. They want human interest stories now more than ever. There's a heft and a return to physical magazines, physical newspapers. It's almost a resurgent to what's old is new again. And public relations is still chugging along. I think you're going to see more founders, more entrepreneurs, more businesses stepping away from social media and working on their authority and visibility and building themselves up as true thought leaders. And you're going to see public relations shine. It's the quickest vehicle to become a thought leader and build up your authority.
Absolutely. And one question that comes to mind too is Can these outlets, journalists, etc., and even you as a publicist really tell when something is written by AI?
1,000%. A
Mhm.
1,000%. The phrases, the pacing. AI will never replace good writing, but I'm an M dash fan. I was an M dash fan long before AI. It has ruined the M dash. AI does not believe in commas. No
Mm-mm.
one ever writes with a semicolon unless you're
No.
using AI to cover an M dash. But it's just, like secret sauce and here's what I know. There's so many repetitive. Yes, everyone knows when you are using AI because none of us are that scholarly. Like, please, no. Write like you talk, be human, skip the
Mm.
AI.
Yeah. I was a fan of the M dash too, and now anytime I use it, I'm afraid people are
Yeah,
gonna think it's
it's
AI.
ruined. It's ruined. Rest in peace, M dash.
And it's ruined. We end every episode with this question, and I can't wait to hear your response. What does it mean to unleash your inner queen, and how do you tap into that power in your life, your career, and your visibility as a leader?
Oh, I think it means being fiercely unapologetic about who you are and showing up with every ounce of the passion that you have, but also making sure that you adjust the crown of the person next to you, right? Like everything I want for myself, and I want a lot of things for myself, I want for the person next to me. So if I'm blazing the trail, I might as well bring everyone
Mm.
along.
Mm. I love it. I love it. I've learned so much about PR today. I so appreciate your insights, you coming on. Thank you for all that you do and for how long you've done it and the book coming out. It's just so exciting and we're so grateful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. We'll include everything in our bio, but to learn more about KJ's work, you can visit hearsaypr.com. You can follow her on Instagram. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review because every time you do, you help another woman step into the spotlight and unleash her inner queen. Thank you.